Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host 𝙒𝙖𝙩. I am in Times Square. Really? No, not really. I am in my studios, but I am giving you the backdrop of Times Square, which is where the action is. A happy International Yoga Day to all of you. And today, joining me after a hiatus of a few months is Professor R Vaidyanathan, fondly called as Professor RV. Professor RV, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskar, Vanakkam, Namaste to all the PGuru audience. As I always maintain, interacting with the PGurus is a very, very interesting thing because the audience is very perceptive and provide very useful comments. Of course, one or two do abuse and other thing, that doesn't matter really. Otherwise, most of the people's comments are very useful actually. I thank Iyer for providing me this opportunity. And last but not the least is Sachin, who is the technical coordinator as well as inspiration for a lot of new ideas. So Sachin also should be thanked and congratulated. Okay, thank you.
Professor RV, your students and your subscribers have been missing you. The comments is already overflowing. So that shows you how much they missed you. So we will give them a cracker of a session. Professor RV, you must be cringing at the thought of Revdis. As a professor of finance, I'm saying you're talking about fiscal prudence and fiscal discipline, and here profligate state governments try to win elections using Revdi. How dangerous is this 5 guarantee scheme that Priyanka announced without even telling the Karnataka Congress unit what was in her mind? Is this something that's going to be a dangerous disease? How should the BJP combat it? I give the floor to you, sir.
Okay, let's be very blunt. This 24 is not a battle, it's a war. There is a lot of difference between a battles and war. And 24 is also what one can loosely call do or die for the F20, the family parties of 20. If they lose this again, and again, if NDA comes back to power, then the future is very bleak for many of these parties, including Congress. Because 3 times defeat, which means something like 15 years out of power. Most important, I think most of you will know about, who knows about Indian politics, being out of power is not a desirable thing beyond a point. Because your ability to distribute favors to your groups, your ability to make money, so many things are dependent on that actually, being in power. And that's the reason why from a municipal corporation to panchayat level and other thing, you see so much amount of clamor and don't ever think that they all want to serve the society or anything like that. If you think so, you are very innocent, and I really sincerely praise you. But that's not the issue. The issue is in terms of being in power and making use of power. So 24 is extremely important for the opposition, and of course for the ruling party also, but that is much more important for the opposition. It's a sort of a do or die battle, and like 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪, our former chairman of my institute, always used to say, in India never use the word do or die, because mostly people die and they don't do anything. So export, for instance, he used to say, export or perish. He says never use such slogan because people perish, people don't export. So that is the way in which we are. Anyhow, it's a very, very major battle, and Karnataka has been the beginner, or rather you can say a trailer for the Congress as well as for the opposition. Now, Priyanka Gandhi introduced in Karnataka what are known as 5 guarantees, 5G. You talk about 2G, 3G, 4G and other thing. Now 5G done by a Priyanka. She wants to call herself a Priyanka Vadra Gandhi. Anyhow, we will use the word PV for what one can call simplicity. She introduced this 5 guarantee. Not many people took it seriously actually, but She promised in every meeting. She addressed lot of meetings in Karnataka. Many people are not even realizing it. And she got reasonable crowd. I won't say that massive crowd or anything, but reasonable crowd. And in everywhere she used to say, I give you the promise. This is what Indira used to say in her poll campaign in the 70s. I give you. That means you trust me. And the 5 guarantees are, one is Griha Jyoti, what is known as the electricity, free electricity up to 200 units. We will come to the nitty gritty much later. Griha Jyoti, free electricity up to 200 units for all the consumers. Then Griha Lakshmi, it is something like 2,000 per month for BPL, what one can call, and Antodaya. The classification is basically in terms of poverty line, and so that is 2,000 rupee per month. Then Anna Bhagya, that is 10 kg of rice, which is offered free for BPL and Antodaya and marginal type of families. Then Uchita Prayana. It's Prayana, everybody understands in terms of travel. Free bus travel for women in Karnataka. Free. You just get into the bus and get down from the bus. That's all. And again, 50% of that is reserved for men, the government buses, because they don't want all the buses to be only occupied by women. And already a lot of these private bus fellows are complaining because nobody is getting into their buses, particularly the women. Some of them are closed down, and anyhow. And unemployed youth, 3,000 per month for 24 months. If you are a graduate, if you are a diploma holder, 1,500 for diploma holder. All these were, when these were announced, people I meant the opposition, or rather then the ruling party, NDA, or mostly BJP, they didn't take it seriously. Actually, I wrote a lot of mails, and whoever I know in the saffron group in Karnataka, I told this is going to be extremely interesting thing, and this is going to be a very, very important thing for the Congress, because the public will be very attracted. But they told no, Revdi culture won't help, and our people are, all that. Anyhow, beyond a point, I also didn't want to argue another thing. But I thought that this is a very, very interesting type of thing, because it covers a very large swathe of people. First is, it's extremely attractive to women, who constitute roughly 47-48% of the voting population. And second is, it is also very attractive to youth. And women, why, for instance, recent reports suggest huge amount of crowd in the pilgrimage centers in Karnataka. And all of them are women. Massive crowds, actually. Some temples are getting more women compared to Tirupati even. Unbelievable. For the simple reason they can travel free, and the food is anyhow provided in most of the temples. You may be knowing about it in Karnataka.
Yes,
and
sir.
so practically there is no cost for the women. They, some, of course, some out of pocket expenses and other thing. Many of them, this is for, we are talking about middle-aged and old women. Many of them would have wanted to go to, these pilgrimage centers within Karnataka. Plenty of them are available. And they might have hesitated, or they might have been wondering about the cost of travel and all these things. Okay. Now post-election, lot of discussion take place. Like I also pointed out that deficit will increase, and state is in a crisis. And you see, pre-election Revdi is the one which brings you to power, and post-election you try to trim it. You try to put conditions, and a lot of people criticize it. You are not offering what you promised before the poll. Not many people remember that, and also people feel something they are trying to give. If not 1,000, 750 rupees. Okay, at least we should appreciate another. And why this free culture is popular? According to me, there are 3 reasons. Why? There is a genuine type of a lower middle class and lower class people who feel that getting something free is a good thing. What is the big deal about it? And it helps them in terms of supplementing their current. For instance, this free bus service. There was a survey of garment workers. Quite a large number of garment workers are there in Bangalore. Some of you may or may not know about it. Huge number of garment factories, and mostly people from Kerala, people from Tamil Nadu and other places also come. And 90% of them are women workers in these garment factories. And some factories employ as high as 12,000, 14,000 type of people. And some of these women say they have saved something like 500 rupees, 600 rupees per month because of this free bus service, because they come from faraway places and up and down in terms of 10 rupee or bus services are not as cheap as it is made out in the old past. Now it is. So for them it's a huge amount. Their monthly pay is ranging between 10 to 12,000 rupees, and anything in 250 to 300 or 500 rupees is not a small sum, which they can use it for alternate purposes is another thing. So what I want to stress is that the group is extremely thankful, and that's a very large group. Let's not try to undermine it or anything. And there is no point in telling them, you must, I as a conservative would say, you must earn your bread for the dining table, and then only you can be very proud of it. Another thing, but pride doesn't bring votes. Let's be very clear about it. And large number of these people is, second group is which I have interacted with is very interesting. They say all these fellows make money in retail corruption. RTO office, for instance, 100 by 100 square feet land. Forget about Karnataka. Anywhere in India today you cannot register without paying bribes. Let's be very blunt about 100 by 100 square feet. If you can register it without paying bribe, I will give you actually in check, not in bribe, right? It's the retail, bribes are too many actually. For everything you have to pay something. What is that, Iyer? You want to say something? No, you have to unmute yourself.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask you one question regarding the land, sir. The Indian government has taken up geospatial mapping, which means that they know every parcel of land in India. I think that is supposed to be finished in a month or two. After that, can we not computerize the entire thing so there is no middleman in between to buy?
I'm not being cynical. I'm not being cynical. From 2002, I am hearing this. 2002, I am hearing it. And a simple thing like, they say you can download your kata from the computer system, from the net. No, you go and try it. Most of the state government cut ribbons and opened a lot of these, IT enabled services. And after some time, many of the, 21 out of 28 states I have studied, they have not updated it after 16, 17. Much of the data and other thing. This Bhumi, this is very famous in Karnataka also. This Bhumi thing, it's talked about another thing. And e-Kata also there. Kata is ownership document, they are talking about it. But, concretely to come to the final user, I do not know how long it will take. One thing is these registrars are the corruptest element in the whole system. Some of them are crorpatis and very common knowledge, and so there is going to be a huge amount of resistance in introducing it itself. So let's wait and see how this is going to be rolled out. Another. Okay. For instance, lot of these these developers are facing a huge problem. You have a land and one Chanama there will be 7 Chanamas standing in queue, telling each one of them is the owner of the land. Aggregating the land is a massive problem in urban areas in India, because each small plots will be told different fellows, and other than that, land grabs are there in common. Many of the people in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka told me, those who are settled abroad, some buildings have come in their land. Actually, if they have not been, it's a huge problem. As of now, most people feel that you pay bribe for so many things, right? Like a street corner, this pav bhaji seller, he says he pays some 25-30 rupees to the local, so they feel that when you are so corrupt, when you pay so much, why don't you get back something? This is some sort of a return gift. You marriage, you go stand in queue, and then at the end of the queue, you provide some gift to the what you call the groom and the bride, and from there the queue takes you to the dining hall, and then from dining hall you are taken to the exit. And they sometimes write, avoid presents. One of my friends wrongly wrote avoid presents, he wrote instead of gift. Anyhow, so in spite of that, people do give some gift or something. And when you come out, you get returned what is known as some sort of a, it could be a coconut and a betel leaf, and they put something nowadays. And recently in one marriage in Pondicherry, they were giving a quarter bottle to each one of the fellows who came, and I think they were later fined or anything. I don't know how can you fine a marriage couple for giving a quarter to each one of the, and sealed bottle only. It's a legal bottle. Anyhow, what I want to say is, when we have given, so this is the reply. So this is the type of this is the second category of people. Third category is obviously the politician and their chamchas and other thing. If this type of promise helps to sway the people, why not offer? They will offer, and it's not that. And there is a subtle distinction made between gains which are useful, productive, like building of toilets, which is undertaken by the Modi government, water supply, piped water supply. These are something, roads. These are something which is having a impact on a long-term basis. But you see, fundamentally, there is a economic principle which is the current consumption is favored compared to the future benefits. If you say that we have got excellent airports, excellent roads, and other thing which will give over. For instance, Kamaraj used to say that as long as you put lovely roads and provide water, people will take care of everything else. He used to stress electricity, water, and roads. That's all. He said to forget about everything else. Everything else will be taken care by the society itself. So that is a type of argument. But unfortunately, we are on the left side of the Engel curve. In the sense, a large proportion of our money is spent on food items and dairy items and that type of thing. 60% of an average middle class spends on rent, provisions, and milk, and this non-veg type of things. 60%. While as in US, it may be around 12 to 15% only. Yeah.
A small request to all of our viewers to like this video. I would like Professor RV to come once a week. I've been talking to him about this, and it would encourage him and me and everybody else if we have many more people watching this program. We have good attendance, but we would like to have great attendance. Thank you so much. Sir, please continue. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, no problem. It is as much your channel as our channel, right? So
Yes,
there is
yes,
no
yes.
interference. And anyhow,
Yes, yes.
so that group feels that, why not, offer this free, offer that free. And Kejriwal, for instance, he offered so much. And everybody criticizes. But some people feel even if 20% of what they offer is, fructified after poll, that's very good. Sometime before poll, like recently, this is known as Sirumangalam formula. Not many people may know about it. M.K. Alagiri, elder son of Karunanidhi, introduced it in a poll near Madurai. Actually, he practically bribed the people, quite a large number of them. Similarly, recently in Erode, actually, Huge tents were erected and the people were asked to sit there. They were not even allowed to go out. 300 rupee or 400 rupee per day was given. And nowadays, so many innovative ways. They are given token, and the token has to be showed in some shops to get articles. And TTV Dinakaran had a cooker as his symbol. He told people can go and get cooker. So this is the type of thing which is so pre-poll also many of these are offered, but post-poll promises are, and there is always, and the whole thing is absurd. The opposition criticizes, for instance, Congress says to this, the BJP says to Congress in Karnataka that you are not fulfilling all your, actually fulfilling all their promises will break the state much faster than. So this is the type of now will Priyanka I am sure will offer it in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. Rajasthan is a tricky case because history shows Rajasthan and Karnataka are two states where always the opposition comes into power. The same party never comes into power twice. So, but Madhya Pradesh has to be watched. And how much people will be swayed. Again, the experts are arguing this will totally collapse the system and the deficit will increase. Like, for instance, Himachal Pradesh, they are not able to pay the salary. They went back to the old pension scheme rather than the continuing with the new scheme. But you see, these are correct point. These are rational point. But rationality, sir, I should humbly point out to you, doesn't win you elections. So this is the most and post-election, what will happen? There will be some amount of thing, and a certain developmental activity will be curtailed. That's all. You are introducing Vande Bharat Express, every 2 weeks, one train, another thing. That may not be there. And Gadkari is talking about roads and phenomenal amount of growth for the future. That all will be so the reallocation of resources will take place. A lot of amount will be spent on current consumption, which will be obviously not very productive and useful. But let me ask you a blunt question. Is the opposition party is interested in long-term, welfare and greater good of the economy? And no, they are interested in coming back to power. This is true for all the politicians. Politicians look around for the next week or next month, not what will happen 5 years and another. So if you remember, Indira Gandhi went around the country about Garibi Hatao. Many people laughed at her and other thing. They told, what is this? This will never. That time it was called a syndicate opposition to her. Most of you would not have been even born actually. But that clicked. People really believed that she will deliver something. And she always used to say, I am telling you, take it that we will have this. I think Priyanka is doing the same thing. Many people are wondering actually, why is she doing? Let me tell you a couple of things. One is they have realized that this launching of this Rahul is not working. So many times he has been launched. It is like the old time ISRO used to launch from Tumba. They were called Tumba rockets, and they used to come back to the same beach, and so that was not very helpful or useful. So I think they are now finding launching Rahul is not a. My hunch is if a big if the Priyanka formula wins in MP, then they will launch her. Only issue is in the tradition of Italy, Spain, Portugal, the entire southern belt of Europe. The son is more favored than daughter. Everybody knows. Actually, in Italy, that Meloni, when she became PM, very many were shocked actually, because that's not their type of a politics. Anyhow, so Sonia would definitely anytime prefer her son too. But if the launch of her son is very, very difficult, then it has to be, and her health is also not very good. And so now there is a silent, according to me, a movement inside Congress to project Priyanka, which might also not be too much opposed by other groups Let's wait and see. 23rd they are meeting. And according to me, they may not even announce any common candidate for the coming poll. No need. 2004, nobody was announced. At the end of it, whoever picks up maximum number of MPs would be, sort of expected to. So this is what, according to me. So do not take this as a gimmick or anything. And all India level, roughly 60 crore people go to vote, out of which I feel that 18 to 20 crore at least will be lower middle class and middle class, 30% roughly. I'm not talking about exact numbers and other things. So, and second advantage or second thing which they will put forward is the caste, which they have done successfully in Karnataka, what is called the Haginda formula of 𝙤𝙬𝙤𝙬 about this, Alpasankhyagal, that is minorities as well as non-dominant lower caste Hindus and other type of SC and ST. For instance, in Karnataka, general presumption is Linkayats are 18% and Okaligas are 12%. All that is not correct actually. 1930 survey of Britishers, you can't be using today. Economic development has taken place so much, and more the economic development, less the number of children Linkayats are having. So let's be very clear about it. There was a socio-economic survey done for 2017 when 𝙤𝙬𝙤𝙬 was the chief minister actually, that has not yet been released. And some leakage from that suggests Linkayats are not 18% or something, they are around 13%, and Okaligas are actually less than 10%. Muslims and SCs constitute 42% of Karnataka population. So again, this whole thing will be played on an all India level. I was just reading about the Kurmis in West Bengal, 4 districts, how they are being mobilized in order to demand that they should be declared as tribal, along with a new type of a religion should be recognized. Saranya. Nature worshipping is part of Hinduism, but who cares? The word Hindu is very, very difficult. It's a shunned. So much jumping is done on about yoga, which is a very good thing. But nowhere it is mentioned yoga has got Hindu origin. It's sort of it's separated. It's a separate global, product which India is selling. Like that. So this Alpasankhyagal and SCs and these STs and other type of non-OBC caste will be mobilized. I am telling you. So that will another be a big challenge. So this 5 guarantee is not, I 100% agree with all of you. It is not good for the long term for the economy of the country. But long term economy of the country is, you and I may be wondering about it or worrying about it, not necessarily everybody. So this is the shape of things to come. And how to counter this Revdi, how to counter. One is, of course, you can go one step ahead. And as I mentioned somewhere, Congress may even promise a free train journey for all the women in 2024. That will be a very, very revolutionary step because other parts of the world, bus journey is to a particular state or something, but train journey will be all India. So from Tamil Nadu, women can go to Kasi and come back, another thing. It's all they could announce. Will they? I won't be surprised if they announce it. Let me put it like that. So this freebie culture, will it go? According to me, no. In a democracy, numbers matter. And how do you get the numbers? Period. It's not that of the experts or elites or something. Is it desirable? No. But it's not always what is desirable gets elected. So that is something which is very, very important. And so many other type of harsh languages are also used. For instance, recently in a speech, Stalin says Tamil Nadu will not be existing if you elect Modi again. So that type of what one can call a rhetoric is now in 2023. So as the poll nears, one doesn't know what will. So I think they will use this 5G in MP as a sort of a test, as a rehearsal or teaser or whatever you call it nowadays. And if it works, it's going to be extremely interesting, and it will be definitely be a major plank for the 24. That I am very confident and sure. Let's wait and see how things what do you call develop, and how the other side going to react to this is much more interesting. Let's wait and see. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
thank you, sir. A couple of questions from my side before we jump
Sure.
and start answering our viewers' questions. First question is, overall, if you look at the last 25 years of governance across the states as well as the country, the Bharatiya Janata Party has shown better fiscal prudence, better people-oriented schemes, better overall development of the community in general, and yet people still don't seem to remember all these things, take cognizance of this fact. For example, UP, there is a big beneficiary for all the women that they actually got their own toilets. So how does the BJP's messaging come up so short, sir? I'm trying to understand this.
See, some of this is, let's be very blunt, accepted or looked upon as something normal. And this one, I am not very sure. Your assertion that BJP ruled states have, even opposition ruled states have been much fiscal prudent. The last 6-7 years, 10 years data, if you see, lot of opposition ruled. One reason is practically there is no spending by the state government on any of this. In 70s, every week there used to be cutting of ribbon for this and that and other thing. Which state government has started on its own any industrial activity? You tell me, the last 15 years? Nothing. Earlier, state governments used to have this, sheep rearing corporation, wool rearing corporation, leather development. And in one of the northeastern states, they had, this, what one can call sea. I was asking, why do you have a department for sea? It's all right, sir. We have fishery, sea fish. No, sir. We have a lot of this demand. For what? For not for fish, more for departments. So all that is now, coming down. You can see actually, not just BJP ruled, even opposition ruled. No new, of course, a lot of these private people are coming in and setting up factory. What I want to say is, one, it's not. The second is many of this development activity, public perceive it as something, anyhow it will, it would have happened with or without BJP. That type of, it's not exclusively associated with BJP as of now. Third is, of course, everybody knows the communication of BJP is very poor in terms of what they have done and what is their nature. And, it's a very, their center role, the state role, and it's very complicated also, I agree. But they have not done it.
Well, see, sometimes you sow what you reap, or you reap what you sow, I should say. And
Correct.
one of the things that at least PGurus has been very critical of the Modi government is its inability or lack of will to go after the corrupt. Because the other thing that we have not talked about, Revdi culture is continuing freebies. But just to get people to vote, there is also money being given at the time of elections. That could have been curtailed drastically, in my opinion, and that has also not happened. Sir, this 2,000 rupee phasing out, do you think that will at least bring down the amount of money to be distributed for elections in the four states coming up?
No, it will bring down to some extent, but the best solution for it, I have been shouting horse for 20 years. Nobody is listening to me. That is okay, actually, except for the PGuru audience. And the only way is, which incidentally Pranav Mukherjee agreed in one of his white papers. He mentioned about my suggestion. Make holding of cash as illegal beyond, say, 5 lakhs. Holding of cash. I am not telling about, this was done after the Second World War by the many of the European countries actually. Now they don't require it because Nobody, except the drug peddlers in US, nobody holds so much amount of small cash. It's mostly the cards and various other type of thing. Holding of cash in India should be made a crime. Beyond, let's say something 5 lakh, 10. I don't, I'm not can even keep 10 lakh, or that will phenomenally reduce retail corruption, because corruption people are having cash. Of course, some people stupidly say black money is in the form of real estate. They don't realize the other side of the balance sheet. You see, you should have 101 in accounting. If you have land, if you sell it for cash, then the other fellow get the cash somehow or other. So now what is happening? IT has to prove that this cash which you have got is disproportionate to your source of income and other thing. And so many sources are like this minister says, my brother's wife's, my brother's mother-in-law gifted me this land, and that type of an argument. So this is not. So that's the only way in which you can root out retail corruption. Holding of cash should be, of course, for small businesses and companies, if they want to hold more cash, you encourage them to have it in the form of bank thing and then disperse. And nowadays, because of the digital revolution, even small petty vendors you can pay in the form of this
UPI.
Google Pay, Paytm and other. So that's not a very, and cash is the king even today. Whenever there is a poll, there are studies which have established that the withdrawal of cash from banks is phenomenal, and that is what is used for distributing. And some of it is kept in the form of in the police vans and in ambulances and other things. So that is the one method by which we can try to deal with this whole issue. Okay.
Yeah, next question, please.
Thank you for asking that question. Just put a lot of money in infra and PLI. FDA picked up to for developing countries. At what more can we do? Government do. This is this FDI has picked up, but that is not I don't know why people are so obsessed about FDI, because even domestic saving is very good. It is also being invested, and it's not necessary that FDI alone should help in terms of our growth or anything. And that's again, you are talking about, sir, infra and PLI. They are all of long term. People want unfortunate people want things tomorrow, not your long term is good. I'm not trying to what do you call belittle it, but you can't win poll with PLI and infra. Sorry to tell you. Okay.
I have one announcement to make before we go to the next question. Viewers, we have reached another milestone in our membership. We just crossed 500 permanent members now. Thank you so much for your support. That means all 500 of you at least are committing to putting even $2 a month as a membership fee for PGurus. We are going to start taking care of you in the sense that we'll start giving you even more specific information that only you get to use, because you are of course paying some money for us. Thank you so much. And also please like
this 500 should become 1,000.
Yes, 500 should become 500,000. Yes, indeed, because that is one of the sources of our income, and it helps us to try and get more more resources put for research. Because if you notice, a lot of the stuff that we do, not Professor RV, of course, sometimes Professor RV also comes prepared with a lot of material. Sometimes we have these compelling presentations where we weave the story through a series of slides. So that takes a lot of time and effort, which is where most of your money is going. Thank you once again for all your support. Sir, next question is, Magnet Ranga wants
how
to
would
know.
Priyanka justify? This is all theoretical. I would say Magnet Ranga. Who is go? You go and ask Priyanka, how do you? She will say that my promises are being fulfilled. That's all. Power bill has gone through the roof for whom? For the better off section, according to their argument. This is very, very post poll. It is very difficult to ask the political leaders to justify. For instance, DMK, they said 500 point program they told before poll. They say already they have implemented 90%. What do you do about it? What do this is all, politics is too complicated, right? Okay.
Next question, please. Thank you, Amit Karnik.
Thanks
Polish
for your
currency.
efforts,
That is
Sri
Polish
sir.
currency,
Okay.
PLN. Neeraj Kulkarni wants to know, will India catch up in manufacturing sector in this decade with China using its advantage in ITC sector, making headway in advanced
Advanced
manufacturing?
I am very skeptical. You see, the gap is very large. China is nearing 20 trillion, very nearer to US actually now. We are 3.5 and we are trying to say that we will reach 5 and 5 trillion GDP. And our manufacturing sector is, China is significantly higher in terms of hardware, in terms of their investment. We are much, much more in software. And we, body shopping and export, and 120 billion we roughly get out of our software and other skill export. So I'm not very sure how much we will catch up with the manufacturing with China. And that's also not a must, according to me. Anyhow, okay.
Next question, please. Mr. Lee wants to know, isn't it now high time to remove the very concept of states and discretize Indian political governance down to the district level? The state CMs are
Very,
just
very
simply
good.
middlemen.
I agree with you. We must constitute a second state reorganization commission. This is extremely important. This whole notion of language as a unit of a state and other thing has been destroyed by Andhra Pradesh, for instance. The whole linguistic formation of states came due to Andhra Pradesh. Putti Sriramulu fasted and unfortunately he died also. He wanted a AP. That on that basis AP was formed, and then Tamil Nadu and Karnataka and Gujarat and the language-based states are, the past. I think it is over. It's now we have to come back. We can easily have 50, 60 district units in the country under the district level. And when US much relatively smaller in population, they can have 50 states. We can as well plan to have something like that. I agree with you. State CMs are
Gautam,
middlemen.
yeah, Gautam Desiraju has written a book on this, exactly
Yeah.
specifying how it should be done, what changes need to be done. So, Amit Karnik, thank you so much. Shouldn't BJP share a report card transparently?
Everybody is asking the same thing, right? And
Right.
I don't know. They may. One doesn't know what is happening there, right? Incidentally,
See,
I am
one of the
not in
things,
the.
one of
Yeah,
the things that happens in the United States, Professor Ari, this is for our benefit of our viewers. One of the things
yeah,
that happens in the United States is, see, towards the end of the campaign, last 2 weeks leading up to the elections, right? So what happens is both parties or the leading parties will book airtime, whether it is TV or newspaper, and they start blanketing it with achievements. If you
yeah,
notice, BJP hasn't done that. Why does it not
yeah,
do that? You did the work. I mean, for 80 crore people of India, today they are still getting 5 kilos or 10 kilos, whatever the number is, free rations. Nobody is asking any questions. And anything that is given free, it will never be taken back. You know that also. Yet, when Karnataka said that we will give you 10 kilos rice, suddenly everybody is saying, oh, I'm getting 10 kilos, but you're already getting so much free from BJP. Why did the BJP government not assert this fact? So, two things I am told, sir. The president was an absolute dud, the state president of BJP. I'm telling you the truth. I have no bones here. No BJP person is going to, sir, come and tell me thank you, sir. Or nor Congress is going to tell me thank you for making our point. I'm just saying with the pitfalls. And Mr. Bommai, I don't know why he has taken on this objective that he wants to be like Bommai of Tamil. That is a doll. How can you win elections with that, sir?
Okay. Next,
Subramanian
perhaps
Vishwanathan wants to know.
kingdom
Yeah,
before
go ahead.
justice.
Yeah.
This is very. You see, of course, there are so many ifs and buts. The Tamil Nadu situation is totally different. See, they are 100 years entrenched people. They said, don't try to underestimate them. They have control on the judiciary, they have control on the bureaucrat, they have control on the hospitals, they have control on every possible institution. So it's not going to be a It's a very, very mammoth task. Let's see how Annamalai, challenges that another. It is, Tamil Nadu is separate. I am telling you frankly. So also Kerala and Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Different type of situation. So it's not going to be easy at all in Tamil Nadu. It is desirable, but it's not going to be any easy. Every institution they have got significant amount of control.
In the next episode or two with Sriram Seshadri, we're going to tell you what has been happening in this strange case of Sendil Balaji. The first doctor to examine him turns out to be a relative of the chief minister's wife.
Yeah. Sister Durga's brother.
So and then now there is a bulletin yesterday saying that this man has underwent. They threw all the big sounding words and said he did all these things. We have no idea whether it is true or not. A 47-year-old guy who
going to be Tamil Nadu is a very, very huge hill to climb, I would say.
And they are not understanding that if you make all these claims, another reasonably competent heart specialist can tell whether there was a bypass done or not. I mean, you just have to take an X-ray and
Yeah.
So they are trying very hard to make things stick. That I'm just trying to give an example of why Professor RV is saying what he's saying. These people are clever rogues. So anyway.
Next.
Jahangir Gotla wants to know. Canada, thank you so much.
Election, let me be very frank, if session has continued, he would have done something about it. About putting a stop to, the current election commissioners are doing their task, but nothing really, using all their powers and other things, right? And people on the faults of freebies, sorry, that's not going to happen. It's very, very difficult to tell the people that don't get 1,000 rupee in your hand. They will just laugh at you or something. And Hindus, we will have another session on that, because this Hindu thing is a very peculiar animal. Let me be very put it bluntly. I have yet to come across one fellow who goes to a polling booth thinking he is a Hindu. So anyhow, we will have a full session on this.
Jahangir, there was a show on Netflix called Marseille. Marseille is a town in France, and the mayor election is the whole story. Episode after episode, what happens, twists and turns, opposition, this guy, that guy. And there, they'll have one episode where one immigrant is complaining, look, the last time I voted for you, you said you will give me a fridge. You haven't given me a fridge yet. Fridge, sir. Correct. It's not one bottle of biryani, one packet of biryani and one bottle of whiskey. That is the amount of corruption that is there. So I mean, it's not just India. Everywhere this problem is there. We have to see
all over the world. All over the world, right?
Yes.
Why not declare freebies and try to bring private? All that is not. This is all good thing. You are asking Subramanian and Viswanathan, but it is not going to happen. Who is going to declare it to be, what you call, illegal or anything? You tell me. Okay.
Next one. Atul Khilari wants to know, why have the Chinese stock market not moved in the last 10 years despite the humongous growth?
You see, the listed companies have not, the rate of growth of listed companies has not been as much good as it is for all the companies. China has also got the stock exchange and other thing, but the other non-listed have performed much better. So that is one of the reasons. Okay.
And that brings us to a close of today's program. I hope you liked it, viewers. And please do forward this video to all your friends. Please like and share. And also, if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, fully 1 in 2 of you are still not subscribed. Imagine we can jump from 300K to 600K in just a matter of weeks if all of you decide to subscribe. After all it is going to do is give you a notification.
At least reach 1,000. That's enough.
Yes.
To start with.
Yes. So all you need to do is look at the notification and decide whether you want to watch it or not. There is no obligation on your part to do anything beyond that. Thank you so much, Professor RV. We'll be seeing you again very soon. We have a whole host of topics that we have decided with Professor RV. He was busy with other things, but he's back, free, raring to go, and willing to answer all your questions. Thank you once again, sir. Namaskar.